My name is Emma, and I never imagined my 18th birthday would be overshadowed by a decision I couldn't undo. My parents, who I thought would always support me, canceled my birthday celebration because of my sister's tantrum. What happened next? I quietly packed my things, moved out, and watched as my parents, who'd always been my rock, began to crumble. It started as a typical birthday plan: family, cake, and fun. But when my sister, Mia, threw a fit because she wasn't the center of attention, everything changed. In a moment of shocking favoritism, my parents not only canceled my birthday, but also sided with her. I couldn't believe it. That night, I packed my bags in silence and left. What they didn't know was that I wasn't just going for the night. I was going for good. Wait a second. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more powerful and inspiring stories just like this one. Growing up, my family had always seemed perfect. I had 2 loving parents and a sister, who, despite being a bit dramatic, was the apple of my parents' eyes. We had our disagreements, but nothing serious ever happened. I was always the responsible one, doing well in school, helping at home, and doing everything expected of me. Meanwhile, Mia was the opposite. She was wild, often throwing tantrums when she didn't get her way. It was hard to watch how easily my parents caved to her demands. But I never thought it would go this far. Until my 18th birthday, my parents promised me a big celebration. It was supposed to be a milestone, something special. I had planned everything down to the smallest detail, from the guests to the cake. But the day of the party, Mia had one of her famous tantrums because the spotlight wasn't on her. She screamed, cried, and demanded attention. And instead of telling her to calm down and respect me, my parents took her side, and in a split second, they told me my birthday was canceled. At first, I was stunned. I couldn't process what had just happened. I tried to reason with my parents, but Mia's meltdown so consumed them that they barely acknowledged my feelings. "Emma, you can have a birthday another day," they said, but nothing they said could take away the hurt I felt in that moment. The years of quietly watching Mia get away with everything, the years of being overlooked, all came crashing down in that one decision. It was the final straw. I had always been the one to pick up the pieces when Mia caused trouble, but this time my parents had crossed a line. They had chosen her over me. Again, the girl who couldn't even be bothered to pretend to care about anyone else's feelings was now the one getting all the attention. I felt so small, so insignificant in their eyes. I knew I couldn't stay under their roof anymore. That night, while everyone was distracted by Mia's latest drama, I quietly packed my things. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. I didn't need to explain myself. I grabbed my clothes, a few personal belongings, and walked out the door. The hardest part wasn't the leaving. It was knowing that my family, the people I had loved and trusted, didn't even care enough to stop me. The moment I walked out that door, I knew there was no going back. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do. But I couldn't stay there anymore. I left behind a birthday that should have been mine, and instead, I found myself alone in the world, with nothing but my decision to keep me going. Weeks went by, and I kept my distance. I watched from afar as Mia continued to be the center of attention, as my parents tried to carry on without acknowledging that I was gone. It was like they didn't even notice. My phone rarely rang, and when it did, it was only Mia calling, asking me to come back. But how could I return when nothing had changed? I wasn't going back to a family that could discard me so easily. Months passed before my parents even tried to contact me. By then, I had learned to live independently. I found a small apartment, secured a part-time job, and began slowly rebuilding my life. The more time I spent away from my family, the clearer it became. Sometimes, walking away is the only way to find peace. One day, my mom called, her voice full of guilt and regret. "Emma, we want you to come home. We've realized what we've done." But by then, it was too late. I had found my own independence, my own voice, and I wasn't willing to let it go for a family that hadn't respected me. I realized that sometimes family doesn't always mean unconditional love. Sometimes it's about protecting your own heart from those who take it for granted. And as for Mia, she'll always be the one they choose, but I've learned to pick myself. And that's enough. Did I do the right thing by leaving? Or should I have stayed and tried to fix things? Where are you watching from? Take care.